Let's see. Testing.
All right, the 17th session of the Associate Students of Colorado State University will now come to order. Please stand as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will now be reading our land acknowledgement. All right, land acknowledgement. Colorado State University acknowledges with respect that the land we are on today is the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. This was also a site of trade and gathering and healing for numerous other native tribes. We recognize the indigenous peoples as original stewards of this land and all the relatives within it. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties nations have to their traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. CSU is founded as a land-grant institution, and we accept that our mission must encompass access to education and inclusion, and significantly, that our founding came at a dire cost to Native nations and peoples whose land this university was built upon. This acknowledgement is the education and inclusion we must practice in recognizing our institutional history, responsibility, and commitment. Okay, with that, we will now begin our beginning roll call. If you hear your name, please say here. If there's a senator in your constituency that is not available and you are an associate senator, you can say associate senator for, and you can be that voting member, just to clarify. Okay, clerk will now call the roll.
Associate Senator Tefera. Associate Senator Quintana. Associate Senator Reeves. Associate Senator Davis. Chair Osterhout. Chair Ritter. Present. Chair Athey. Here. Parliamentarian Hunter.
Here.
Officer Torstocksy.
Present.
Senator Silverheart.
Present.
Senator Shepherd.
Present.
Senator Baum.
Present.
Senator Kramer. Senator Williamson. Senator Sandoval. Present. Senator Mumford.
Present.
Senator Beeson.
Associate Senator Hibbard for Senator Deason.
Senator Nybert.
Here.
Senator Brown. Here. Senator Carcedo. Present. Senator Scheer. Senator Birch.
Present.
Senator Correa.
Present.
Senator Long.
That's me.
Senator Pyfrom.
I'm present.
Senator May. Here. Senator Trout.
Present.
Senator Bilodeau.
Present.
Senator Julis. Senator Anthony. Chair Welch.
Here.
And Chair Morgan. Present.
Is there any name or senator or associate senator or any member who has not been called on? All right. Seeing none, we will now move to our consent agenda. Is there any dissent from approving the consent agenda? Seeing none, we will now go to gallery input. Is there any member in the gallery who is not a voting member or who has ex officio status who wishes to speak?
Mr. Speaker, there's a placard.
For what purposes does the senator seek recognition?
A motion of Caroline Epperson to be ratified as a senator for the College of Health and Human Sciences.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
All in favor, please turn on your mics and say aye.
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 All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it with the 2/3 majority required. Parliamentarian Hunter, please add that to the list or on the agenda.
There's one gallery member on Zoom.
Okay.
Hi, can I speak?
Yes, you are recognized for 5 minutes.
Okay, I'll turn on my camera, which is really scary to think that like everyone in that space can see me right now, and I can't see any of you, but it's fine. Hi, everyone. My name is Emily Cruz Arizola. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I served as a senator for 2 years, representing El Centro. So I just wanted to pop in tonight, which is weird for me because I haven't been here since like the beginning of the academic year. Anyways, I just kind of wanted to come in and kind of speak to some stuff that happened last week, just because I feel like it's important. And I've been in your place, so I know how hard it can be to navigate certain situations. Anyways, so I have a lot of friends who are in the ASCSU, so I get to hear all the things that kind of go down. And it was brought to my attention and to some other senators who are no longer in the space about the incident regarding removing, I don't know if she's the chair anymore because I don't see her in the space, but Chair Osterhout's speaking rights during a discussion to ratify someone. I don't know. I watched the live stream. Anyways, so the reason why I wanted to come in and talk and kind of say my 2 cents is because I feel like one, and this is not like an attack on anyone, it's just kind of like my perspective from what I noticed. And it was like, I don't think the motion to remove her speaking rights in that situation was a motion that should have been entertained for several reasons. One, the question was valid towards that member who was being questioned because it was not a direct attack on him or his organization. It was just a general question asked as to how they would handle a certain situation if they were to receive whatever job or vacancy they were trying to fill. Two, that when that motion was entertained, it came at the expense of a BIPOC individual because the speaker decided to move on and have discussion and debate on it when according to Robert's Rules of Order and what questions are deemed appropriate and inappropriate, she asked a valid question. So I just think that this is a learning moment for everyone, but unfortunately, it revolved around a woman of color, specifically an Indigenous and Native American woman, which, you know, that sucks. And I think oftentimes it's happened in the past when I was in the space. You know, a lot of these learning moments come at the expense of BIPOC individuals, people who, senators who are part of the LGBTQA plus community, people with disabilities, all of that stuff. So just wanted to come out and say, I think this is a good learning moment for everyone. Make sure that you know Robert's Rules of Order, you kind of know what kind of questions are appropriate and not. And also, I think when questions are asked about white supremacy, it makes people uncomfortable. And at the same time, I also felt like, from what I noticed, because I don't know how to like describe this without it being like my feelings about it. because that's just what it is, my feelings about it. We also have like a right or like a duty to speak up because we're trying to uphold our principles of community rights, social justice, respect, inclusion, service, and integrity. And as senators, you have a duty to kind of create safe spaces for each other so you can move on. And that's the reason why I'm here, because I really believe that ASCSU is such an important tool and such an important way for like students to be represented on campus. So, you know, I challenge you all to, you know, be better allies and be better accomplices and really, you know, show solidarity, because it can be really hard to be in that space. I've experienced it before, and it can also be really hard to speak up and say something because it's nerve-wracking, because you're not always going to have the right words, because, you know, people are going to think certain ways about you, and I think that's totally valid. So yeah, those are just kind of my thoughts. I don't really like to come on here or like join sessions because I feel like you all are qualified to do your jobs and I trust you all. But in this case, I think I just wanted to share my thoughts on the situation. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Is there any other member of the gallery wishing to speak? Seeing none, I'd like to clarify, Neil, to Officer Torres Doxy, would you mind telling me where you want to put the ratify the new senator on the agenda?
Can we ratify her now? Or after gallery input, if gallery input is
I
over?
second that motion.
The motion was already been, passed to put it on the agenda. I just trying to find out where on the agenda it'll be at.
It's supposed to go after consent agenda before gallery input.
Okay, thank you. All right, seeing that there's no other gallery input, we're going to go to swearing in our senators, our associate senators. For those who are being sworn in, would you please come up to the stand, please? And will the Chief Justice please administer the oath of office?
Just make sure you speak into this.
Okay.
She'll come back and skip that.
Can you hear me? Okay. I state your name.
I, Caroline Epperson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to defend and uphold
to defend and uphold
the rules and regulations
the rules and regulations
set forth
set forth
by the Constitution
by the Constitution
of the Associated Students of Colorado State
of
University,
the Associate Students of Colorado State University,
and will rightfully perform
and will rightfully perform
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations. Give everyone a round of applause. Okay, we will now open the floor for executive report. So is there any member from the executive branch wishing to give a report? Okay, Vice President Gephardt, the chair recognizes you for 10 minutes.
Hello, everybody. It's nice to see you all. Well, okay, so a few updates for SFRB, but before SFRB, we'll also have two people getting ratified, hopefully tonight, as part of the executive branch. But for SFRB, so we had Off-Campus Life and Ramride give a presentation this past Monday, and quick updates there. They want to combine their fee areas, and so if you have any questions about that, please let me know, or any concerns. And then we also decided to suspend part of the bylaws in order to accommodate for just the circumstances with COVID and not having quorum. So quorum is about 12 people within SFRB. We don't have 12 members right now. And we felt that it was adequate to suspend the bylaws until further notice. So if you have any questions about that, let me know as well. That's it.
Director of Government Affairs, 10 minutes.
Okay, hi, everybody. Definitely not gonna take 10 minutes. I just wanted to let you all know that we're having an event next week called Desserts and Democracy, where you can come sample a bunch of delicious desserts from LSC Catering and then learn about how ranked choice voting works. So kind of following what the ranked choice voting Fort Collins group does, we're gonna be using a simplified system where you just like show your vote with a sticky note so that you can see how the runoff works. But then after that, we'll also have presentations from folks from the RCV Fort Collins group, as well as hopefully from Attica Voting, which is the grad student group on campus that's coding the software to use for the system. So it'll be super cool and informational. If you're interested in ranked choice voting, definitely come, and feel free to bring anyone who's not involved with ASCSU too. This event is open to anybody on campus. So it'll start at 5:30 so that you can go to that event before Senate. So starting around like 5:30, 5:45-ish, it'll be upstairs in the LSC room 382 or something, one of those like LSC rooms in the big maze of upstairs rooms. So there should be information about this event in the weekly email, and I'll probably send it again for this Monday's weekly email as well. Let me know if you have any questions. I would love to see you all there. Thank you, Senate.
All right. Director of Housing and Security is recognized for 10 minutes.
Hey y'all, Benson Russell here, his pronouns, yeah, Director of Housing Security, thanks. I just want to let you know that I'm tabling Monday, Wednesday, Friday, actually with Speaker Hill as well, and inviting pretty much any and all ASCSU members and pretty much any students who want to join us tabling from 11 to 2, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I said this last week as well, but we're giving out shirts and coffee and hot chocolate. Y'all obviously can have some as well. And we're also just like raising awareness around project we're working on and projects that are happening currently that students should know about and be informed on. So if y'all have any projects or y'all want to table with us and get coffee or anything, please do. You can reach out to me, or you can literally just show up 11 to 2. We have extra space. You can just hop on in. And also we have, I wrote a piece of legislation with Julia, the food security specialist, to continue funding for the pocket pantries. That'll be presented next week. I just love you all to take a look at that and reach out to me if you have any thoughts on it. It's $10,000 a year for 3 years, so $30,000 total over 3 years. Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Okay. Student Body President Dixon is recognized for 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. How much time do I have left? Just
You have 10 minutes.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. It's good to see you all. Hopefully your week is going well so far. We are in the middle of planning right now. Did you speak about Day at the Capitol at all, Anya? Okay, informally, I would say the RSVPs are about to close. If you haven't already RSVP, definitely do that. It's next Thursday, February 17. It's growing into a statewide summit, a student summit on the issues that we care about, closing equity gaps, higher ed affordability, mental health, fostering positive student experiences on college campuses. There's more categories in this. In Colorado land stewardship, there's one other one. Yep, mental behavioral health, I mentioned that. But anyway, issues that we care about as students across the state. So 60 students from 14 universities and community colleges will be joining. Elijah, I know, will be there as well, along with the whole team. So hope you all can join us. It'll be incredible. And meeting with the Attorney General in the morning, meeting with the Speaker of the House, Alec Garnett, meeting with the Director of Higher Education, Dr. Piccioni, as well as her entire executive leadership team. And then the Colorado Student Government Coalition is going to kickstart our vision for the year at that meeting. So if you have a chance to join RSVP, definitely do that. Partnership with athletics is emerging. We're replanning. How many of you all went to Grill the Buffs? This probably was like 2 years ago. Yeah, we want to bring it back. We have a large line item in our budget, and we have a spring exhibition game for the football team on April 23rd. So we're thinking of rebrand it because we don't play CU Boulder again until 2024. And then 4 years off. So we want that tradition to endure and to broaden it so that it's still applicable, even though we're not playing CU Boulder. How many of you all have expressed interest in voter registration or want to learn more about it? Okay, decent amount. What I will say with regard to U+2 and all of the work that we've done in the community, people genuinely want to register to vote. They want to be an active part of that. And I remember we went live on one of the Instagram channels and mentioned our advocacy. This was last year, and I had probably 30 people within an hour window ask me how can I help others get registered to vote. So we have a training that we're going to be scheduling. If you all want to be a part of that, please come find me. And yeah, I would be happy to help with that. Anything else that I'm missing? Good news on the ADA accessibility project. The president's office picked it up. So we have about $140,000 secure for ADA enhancements across campus. Come find me if you want to talk more about that. And then they're reaching out now to the rec center, the Laurie Student Center, and housing as well to identify strategies for ADA enhancements in those areas. The system is trying to take a more active role with this. I'll mention that too. They're trying to do audits of all of the campuses within the CSU system. So I know many folks have asked about that. Can we do audits? What's the status of that? They're actively doing that. So if you have interest, please let me know. And then final thing I'll say is just, I want to be a resource for you all. And I know that everything that we do, we're stewards in everything that we do. And so that includes the space, that includes our organization. And I genuinely care about each and every one of you. And if there's a project that you care about, that you want to advance, come find me. And I want to partner with you all on this. We are blessed with resources to make an impact as an organization. I know it's sometimes challenging to make sense of the complex system, but I'm here for you all if you need me, okay? And I would extend that for my entire team. And I thank you for everything that you're doing. And I'll stop there because I know you have a long night. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, thank you. Is there a member from the judicial branch wishing to present?
Can I give a quick announcement?
Oh, my apologies. Chief of Staff, you're recognized for 10 minutes.
What's up, everyone? My name's Carter, pronounced she, they. I just wanted to jump up here really quick and say thank you to those of y'all who attended the trainings that were at the beginning of the spring semester. We had the SHAPE conference, which was put on by the SLICE office, and then we also had the Safe Zone training, which was really cool, really good, well done training. So I'm thankful for all of y'all who showed up. And then if there is also interest of another Safe Zone training, I'm happy to contact the Pride Resource Center and get another date set on the calendars because I think it was super worth it. And then the last thing I have is we've got some ratifications tonight, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Is there a member from the executive branch who is not wishing to speak, who is not? Seeing none, we'll now move to judicial reports. Chief Justice Freeman, I recognize you for 10 minutes. Okay. Associate Justice, please state your name.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kelly Dungan. I'm an associate justice on the Supreme Court. I hope you all are having a good week so far. I just wanted to come up and give a quick note on my project, Rams Know Their Rights. I've spoken about this before, but it's just basically an initiative that's seeking to inform students on campus about their legal rights. A couple of things, a couple of goals that I have that I'm working on currently are working with Grace Kringle from marketing. She and I are going to be working on creating a magnet with a QR code that would take students to a web page with a list of resources about Rams Know Their Rights. Additionally, I'm working on doing an Instagram takeover. Grace is also helping me with that, so I'm very appreciative of her help. I'm really interested in hearing from different people about perspectives that they have on legal issues. So there are a few senators I have in mind who I really would like to talk to, but I am completely open to hearing the opinions of anyone who wants to talk to me or who's passionate about these legal issues. So my office hours are on Mondays from 10 to 12. You're welcome to stop in and talk to me anytime. Or you can talk to me after this or shoot me an email. So yeah, thank you all.
All right, Chief Justice Freeman, Chair recognizes you for 10 minutes.
Thanks, y'all. I have a little bit longer of a report tonight. So I think this is mentioned before, but all the associate justices have projects and they rotate coming to Senate. So I'll just speak to a few, but hopefully they will be coming to tell you more about them in person. Associate Justice Zacharias is working on a responsible exemption. And can you raise your hand if you know what that is? Wonderful. So the responsible exemption is something in the university policy that talks about if you are underage and you have a situation where you need to call medical attention or paramedics, you won't get in trouble. So we're working with the Student Resolution Center on that. Mike Katz is wonderful. And we're also working with other campus partners like health to work on making this a better policy, improving it all over. Coffee with the Court is next Tuesday, the 15th. It's Valentine's Day themed. So come get some free coffee. Let your friends know, let your constituents know. Please come. We always have a ton left over, so please come. Bailey Shepard and I are working, Senator Shepard and I are working on changing a Colorado statute, which makes it really hard for our student legal services funded by student fees to help with an MIP if a student gets one. To do this, we need stakeholders. So if you or a friend feel comfortable sharing an experience that you'll have with an MIP, or if they don't feel comfortable coming to share it with me and they feel comfortable sharing it with you, and you feel comfortable sharing it with me, it can be completely anonymous. We just need stories. And Emory, elections manager Jenkins isn't here. She had something come up. So I am going to give her a report. So Attica was supposed to come tonight. I believe Director Kaplan mentioned that, but we did have to switch some things around. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they will be coming next week. They came to LSAB, so if I could yield to Senator Shepard to just talk a little bit about that.
Thank you, Chief Justice Freeman. Yeah, we had the folks at Attica come in about 2 LSABs ago, so not this last Friday, but the Friday before. They gave us a sort of a test run of what the software is going to look like, and I think it's really awesome. It looks super cool, and I can't wait for all of you to see it and see what Elections Manager Jenkins does with it. I don't know, the general feeling, I'm sure Chair Welch can attest to this, the general feeling was that we were super excited about it. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. And is there anything else you want me to talk about? I was just very surprised by how awesome it was. So I'm excited for everyone else to see how awesome it is.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. The elections code has been edited and hopefully will be on the floor next Wednesday. Please, please, please share the elections committee application with your fellow constituents. Anyone that you know, your friends, if you have family on campus, please share it with them. Any and everyone. We're also planning to meet with CCTV for debate and announcement coverage, so we will keep you posted on that. Edits have been made for ranked choice voting. Campaign finance has been edited to equalize the allotted amount, so the spent by the president and vice president tickets and the speaker of the Senate campaigns. Senator allotments were raised as well to help account for the higher cost of goods we've seen over the past year and a half. The rest of the edits were formatting issues, which should be good to send for Friday. Also, just one last thing, the court is taking internal complaints, opinions, and reviews. I know that there was talk that we're not. So what happened was we adjourned for winter break, but we're back. So I just wanted to clarify that. Yeah, if you have any questions about the election stuff, I'm going to refer you to Elections Manager Jenkins because I have not been as involved in that. Cool, that's it for me.
Thank you. Is there any other member from the judicial branch wishing to speak or present? All right, seeing none, we will now move on to committee reports, starting with Budgetary Affairs Committee. Vice Chair Silverheart, Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Speaker Hill. I have something to read on behalf of Chair Osterhout, and it goes as follows. Hello, everybody. So sad I could not be here tonight. A girl has a chemistry exam to take, hashtag Indigenous women in STEM. Now let's talk about budgetary. We have some legislation we will have to go through. I'm excited to catch up with you all. Let's talk about a time for the committee. If Speaker Hill permits, I would like people to raise their hands if these days work for them.
You may.
Alrighty, Monday afternoons. If these times work for you, feel free to raise your hand. Ready? 3 out of 4. Tuesday afternoons. 2 out of 4. Wednesday afternoon after 4 p.m. and before 6:30 p.m. Not that one. Thursday afternoon after 2 p.m. And then Friday afternoon. It looks like it might be between Monday afternoon and Friday afternoon, so I will talk to Chair Osterhout, and we will kind of decide between those two times. But as always, if any of y'all want to discuss the budget, need help writing legislation, or just need someone to vent, hit my line. Preferably my ASCSU Budgetary Committee Affairs email is located on the ASCSU Senate website. And that is all she has to say. So, and I also yield to Chair Welsh.
And also as a former vice chair for budgetary, so it's completely good. So this is a different statement, but first off, we would like to acknowledge and give space for those who were harmed by the previous Senate session. Everyone's feelings are validated. Moving on, we in Senate leadership want to continue our commitment to 100% transparency. With that being said, the collective ASCSU Senate Magistrate did have a meeting with the current Senate Speaker this past Friday. As a whole, Senate leadership has decided, for the sake of the well-being of the student body, to ask the current Speaker to resign. Senate leadership's reasoning goes as follows. Multiple occasions in both fall and spring semester of the Speaker during the principle of community, ASCSU Code of Ethics, and the Senate bylaws. Additionally, the financial irresponsibility Speaker displayed by spending $600 from the ASCSU Senate Leadership Fund. That fund traditionally is used by Senate leadership as a whole to be able to give back to the Senate body in a meaningful way. Nor did the Speaker submit a winter accountability report as stated in the job descriptions. The Speaker has promised improvement since September of 2021. Senate leadership has not been satisfied with the minimal improvement we have noted from the past 2 semesters. We have allowed the Speaker 23 weeks to fulfill their promises of improvement. After a very thoughtful meeting on Friday afternoon, the Speaker has decided to decline our offer of this resignation. After the Speaker informed the legislative cabinet, there were requests made by leadership within our ongoing group chat. 1, a list of how the Speaker will drastically improve their leadership style and technique. 2, a list of training and resources the Speaker has used from Friday afternoon to Sunday night to enhance their understanding of diversity, inclusion, and equity while addressing their inherent biases. Only the first request was fulfilled. We implore you all to closely read and truly understand what the Speaker's list of improvement means and how that reflects their past actions. We also encourage everyone to define what performative means to them. Despite the actions of Senate Speaker, we and Senate leadership will continue to allocate, listen, and be there in support of all you in the Senate body. An XOX from Lizzie and the rest of the Senate magistrates.
All right. Vice Chair Silverheart, do you wish to yield your time? Are you finished with your report?
Finished with my report.
Okay. Internal Affairs Chair, Chair AP, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Internal has been decided that it's Fridays from 4 to 5 in the conference room. No, this is not the same time that it was last semester. We will be meeting this week. If you have any questions, please send me an email. To follow suit with the Budgetary Affairs Report, the decision to ask the Speaker to step down was not one that was taken lightly by the Legislative Cabinet. Since August, no, since May, job duties have been left unfinished and the ASCSU work environment has actively remained hostile. Our governing documents no longer have any ability for consequence when members cause hate or disregard their job duties. We need to get things done, and with our current leadership, we are unable to. The list that was sent to every member in the listserv is both not enough to solve the problems of this year and too much to be done in the time that is left. I yield.
Okay. University Affairs, Chair Walsh.
Hello, everyone. So we will be meeting on Thursdays from 4 to 5 p.m. So the same schedule as last week, or not last week, as last semester. And then I just want to continue what the last 2 committees have said, and also that, yeah, just what the last 2 committees have said. I fully agree with that.
All right. Now, caucus reports. Women's Caucus, Chair Morgan, Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Hi, y'all. I'm Treasure Morgan. She or hers. I don't know. I guess if there's anyone new, I'm also an associate senator for the Native American Culture Center. And yeah, so I do have to change the time. I know last semester it was on Thursdays, but I don't have a time right now just because my schedule keeps shifting. So if I do decide on the time, just look out on the weekly emails. But I just personally want to just echo what has been said about the meeting on Friday, and just say that we as Senate leadership just want the best for Senate, and that's why we created that meeting. Yeah, I yield my time.
Okay. Diversity and Inclusion Caucus, Chair Ritter. Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Hi, y'all. My name is Mia Ritter. I am the chair for the Diversity Inclusion Caucus. I use pronouns she, her, hers, and I'm also center for the Native American Cultural Center. So I haven't fully decided on a time for D&I caucus, just because this time that I had caucus last semester, I have class during that time. So we're probably gonna have to shift around the schedule a little bit and see whenever the rest of the committees will be having their times and what works for everyone else. So I'm gonna send out a poll. I sent it out to the D&I caucus group me last semester. I'll send it out again. And I can probably send it out into the weekly email and see what time works for everyone as well. So just pay attention to your email, and I'll get that out very soon for y'all, just so that we can all be together and talk. And to kind of echo what everyone has said so far, I really emphasized during the Senate leadership meeting on Friday that we had with everyone in Senate leadership and discussed this topic, and I really talked about how that a lot of the Senate leadership is recognizing how not only how actions that has been done in this space is reflecting on a certain person, but is reflecting on all of Senate leadership. And so I know that we really talked about, well, I personally talked about how it takes a leader to decide to pass the baton. And Lizzie and I actually talked about that too. We went back and forth, and as well with Chair Welch as well. And talking about how stepping down in Indigenous tribal communities, it's more than one person that shares that leadership, and that we recognize that it takes more than just one person to kind of carry the team. And I really thought maybe there's something that could have been improved during this meeting. And I just wanted to recognize that that meeting that we had on Friday was something that was pretty important. And yeah, I don't know if y'all have any questions, concerns, or anything, or you can always reach out to me. We can talk and talk about what happened. But yeah, just kind of echoing what everyone else had already talked about. But I yield.
All right. With that, we will now begin legislative officer reports, starting with Speaker of the Senate report. Hello, everyone. Speaker Hill, he, him, his pronouns. First, I would like to say that I have a meeting with President Joyce McConnell in the next week or two. So if you wish to send me any of your, any email regarding what you want me to say on behalf of your constituents or just to the president of the university, please do so as soon as you can. And I will make sure I'll compile that report to essentially put that on there. And then next, I am tabling with the Director of Housing Security, Director Benton Rossler, regarding the bill, and I'm looking at putting it on the floor regarding for tabling for the bike security camera bill. So if you're interested in that and want to help us, please come outside and do so. Let's see. Thirdly, let's see if there's anything else regarding. Okay, well then I'll move to my last point. First, like to formally and apologize for 2 weeks ago that unfortunate events that have happened on Senate. No person deserves to be silenced, especially those from BIPOC communities, and it is quite unfortunate what happened. And for that, I completely apologize. And You know, I want to apologize to those involved and those who are hurt from it and know it was wrong. Should not have entertained that motion, and you know, any motion to silence any individual will not be entertained again. So with that, you know, I did send that list out, and those are the things that I will keep doing, or not keep doing, but I will do. So I hope you all take a look at it, and yeah, if you have any questions or wish to talk to me about it, please don't be hesitant to ask. Now I'm going to conclude my report, and we don't have a speaker pro tempore, so we'll go to the parliamentarian. Parliamentarian Hunter is recognized for 10 minutes.
Hi, everyone. There's a few new faces in here. My name's Jackson. You guys can reach out to me at any time. I just wanted to say again, echoing what Chief of Staff Ryder said earlier, we went to the Safe Zone training held by the executive branch, and it was a really great time. If you could raise your hand if you attended that. Yeah, it was a really great time, really valuable space. I highly recommend you attend another one if there is one. Second, I just wanted to say, please take time to know the procedure. I think personally, it's a little bit hard to watch arguments continue to be had over procedure. And really the only way we can fix that is if we know our procedure and we're comfortable in our procedure. And it's just really awesome for our space. And then going along with that, the OEO appropriate and inappropriate questions are on page 34 or 35, I mean, of the search manual. They're really accessible, really easy to find. So anytime we have candidates up here, those are really great to have in front of you, just so that you know kind of what's appropriate and inappropriate as far as questions go. That's all I have.
Okay, Recruitment and Retention Officer Torres Doxy, Chair recognizes you for 10 minutes. 5 minutes.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Ben Torres Doxy. I'm the Recruitment and Retention Officer, and I'm also Senator for APAC. So yeah, just to kind of echo what was previously said by every chair person in the room. So I have not spoken much this year in Senate at all. However, I do feel that this has gone on too long. I'm going to keep this short. I cannot remember the last time we had a successful Senate session. The Senate's really only been run smoothly about 4 times as I can recall. I'll keep it at that. Yeah, and also I will have I'll keep that for next meeting's report. That's all I have to say. And I motion to have Speaker Hill not chair this meeting.
Seconded.
Okay, motion has been made to remove me as chair. We're gonna do 2/3 of what's required.
You don't get to chair this, Speaker Hill.
Okay.
We will now go into discussion and debate on this motion, starting with the first raised placard, Chair Welch.
All right, so the main reason we're making this motion is just because unfortunately the events that happened were extremely harmful last Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays ago. So I think it's necessary for us first to take a breather, and one necessity to do is to have the speaker not be chairing for this meeting. This is just to see how we feel about it, because what happened was extremely harmful for multiple different things. They did not know for teaser. They handle a motion extremely poorly, and they said that they serve fraternities over everyone else. Those are all very harmful things that have consequences, unfortunately. So at the moment, one of the consequences we need to do is have the speaker not chair for this meeting, just because consequences do happen, and we believe that's the best consequence. So the next thing we need to do is, the floor has been open for question debate, request what parliamentarian did. So anyone who has been hurt from what happened on Wednesday can speak to explain themselves. So basically now is a good time to make a statement on how you feel from Wednesday 2 weeks ago. Now you yield my time.
Thank you, Chair Welch. Are there any more points of discussion and debate? Chair recognizes Senator Trout.
Thank you. Good evening, y'all. My name is Sammy Trout. I go by the he, him, his series pronouns. And I want to take some time to, as we will be, to reflect and talk about our January 26th session. That was the session 2 weeks ago. Keep in mind, I am not in Senate leadership in any way, shape, or form, so this is my personal take. Let's make one thing absolutely clear. Questions regarding concerns on white supremacy in leadership is something that we need to take seriously. It is a threat to many Americans and hence our constituents here at CSU. For anyone who doubts how much of an impact not only attempting to silence a person of color's voices, but especially when discussing a serious problem that CSU students face every single day, I would like to give you all a real world example. Since the beginning of Black History Month, almost 20 historically Black colleges and universities have received bomb threats that the FBI is investigating as racially and ethnically motivated violent extremism and hate crimes. I highly encourage students who were negatively affected by our last session, as well as recent world events, to please reach out to our mental health services offered by our health center, as well as the incredible services that our Black African American Cultural Center, our Native American Cultural Center, and the many other diversity offices that CSU has to offer. We need to do a better job in this space, listening to concerns from our marginalized communities. I yield my time.
Speaker has yielded his time. Are there any more points of discussion and debate? Senator Silverheart.
Thank you. I would just like to read a few of the items from the improvement list that Speaker Hill sent out. He stated, I will remember to write the agenda and send on time by 10 a.m. Monday and give 48 hours in advance for any changes or voting opportunities. I will use pronouns correctly and I will not refer to any person wrong. Number 5, I will study parliamentary procedure and read every line of the bylaws that is necessary for each Senate session. There's a lot of other things in here as well that I believe, maybe I'm wrong, but are already in the job description for Speaker of the Senate. And I feel like these things should have already been going on for the entire duration of Speaker Hill's position as Speaker. So I just kind of wanted to point out that I feel like this list had a lot of things that already should have been happening, not only as a speaker, but also just as a general member of ASCSU. I yield my time.
Chair recognizes Chair Morgan.
I think just to avoid the events of the last Senate session occurring again, we should remove Speaker Hill as chair, and also to keep the election of Speaker Pro Tem equitable and also full of, not full of bias. That's all I gotta say. I yield.
Chair recognizes Senator Correa.
Hi, y'all. My name's Rick. He, him is pronouns. I hope I'm audible to y'all. I know this current motion has been made because of the motion that I made last Senate session, and it's a consequence that I should face rather than Speaker Hill. I would just like to clarify my intentions last time are completely different, and this should not be a reflection of Speaker Hill's action because Speaker Hill, being the speaker, was neutral there. So if anybody has to say anything on it, it should be on me and not on Speaker Hill. So if you will be taking last Senate session's motion into account for your decision today, please let it not be negative towards Speaker Hill as he was just doing his job in being neutral. That's all I'd like to say. Thank you.
Speaker has yielded his time. Are there any more points of discussion and debate? Chair recognizes Senator Nyberg.
I think that the list speaks to itself as to that there's proof that there has been improvement. But I also think that there has been a long history of issues within the team and leadership as working together. And it has come to my attention that it is not all Speaker Hill's fault, but it is worth mentioning that it is Speaker Hill who is supposed to monitor, moderate, and create a safe environment. That did not happen last week. And because of that, I think it is worth noting that there needs to be a change most seriously. And maybe it is removing Speaker Hill. Maybe it is changing how he does his leadership. But I do believe it is necessary to do something significant to make this change. But I will like to say I will not be voting. I am Speaker Hill's roommate, so I will not be participating in the vote.
Officer Torres Doxy.
Yeah, just to echo what everyone says, I think to avoid any situations that happened 2 weeks ago or any new situations that could happen, it is best that this motion passes. Like I said, I can't remember the last time we had a Senate session that ran smoothly. And if I do, it's really been only 4 times the whole year. This is a repeated pattern. I'm tired of it. I'm sure y'all are tired of it. Y'all come and dedicate your time every week. I'm done.
Chair Ritter.
Hi, y'all. So kind of what, sorry, Officer Torres Doxy had mentioned was that it's just been a messy pattern the past months with meetings ever since the beginning of Mr. Speaker Hill had been speaker. And I believe last week was just kind of the messiest cherry on top of like all the meetings and things. And something is that Kyle is the speaker and the chair of the meeting, which means he should be responsible for the events of the last Senate session. And if the motion was not entertained, the events and the trauma could have been avoided. So that is what all I have to say.
Senator Burge.
I will say that I wasn't in the room at the last Senate session for various reasons. I was in the election. I will say that from my unbiased opinion, I think that it's fair for us to go forward in saying that we should select a different chair for this meeting only. And for the reason being that it's part of the process of moving on and gaining a space and gaining momentum back into our Senate. We need to build trust with our student body. And I think we've seen some strides in the last 2 weeks. I think we really have. I think tonight's another big stride in that. And yes, so I yield.
Senator Long.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Hello, everyone. It's good to see everyone. Rob Long, he, him, his. Just an echo of what Senator Burge said. I just believe that it would be productive to remove Kyle for this meeting and this meeting only. I fear that if we, as a result of this meeting, we would just keep removing Kyle, which I don't think would be productive. Just another thing I wanted to add on though, back in November, Stephen Laffey, a former senator of ASCSU, wanted to do, him and I wanted to entertain a motion to have Speaker pro tempore elections that night, but it was denied. And right now I'm just mad at leadership because we're still talking about this. We're getting nothing done. And I don't know, just leadership just shot it down. And I get that we want people outside from ASCSU to, you know, be a part of these elections, but I don't know, I'm just mad at leadership as a whole right now because I just feel that we're still talking about this 2 months after the hand. So that's my 2 cents. I yield.
So, Chair Athey.
I would like to clarify that this motion is not based on Senator Correa's motion. It is based on every action of the Speaker of the Senate, and the lack of refusal to hear that motion was only one factor in it. I would also like to make sure that everyone is aware that this is not the first time these concerns have been brought to the Speaker. An internal complaint with many problems seen this year was filed and heard by the court in September, and no changes were made as a result of that. The list did not speak to the majority of the problems that have arisen this year and is only a fraction of the answers to the year's failures. I yield.
Senator Sandoval.
I would also like to say that I'm not too thrilled with Senate leadership. I understand that Senate leadership is made up of many different parts, and without an effective leader, it cannot run properly. Do I believe that Senator Hill has the possibility of growing and learning from this mistake? Yes.
Personal privilege speaker.
Sorry, thank you. Speaker Hill has I do believe he can grow. I do believe that he can learn from this. However, because this is mostly partly through the semester and we have not gotten anything done, I echo Senator Long. I am pissed because this is ridiculous. We are here for our constituents. We are not here for us. And also, like, I wasn't in the room. I was I was outside during the election, so I did not hear what was going on. But what we were told was something completely different than what actually happened. And for that, I am very disappointed in my fellow senators. And I do believe that something needs to change. And if removing Speaker Hill is going to be that catalyst, then so be it. Thank you. I yield.
Senator Python.
So just kind of want to point to a couple of things. Obviously, last meeting was that was horrible. Whether that be for everybody in there, whether that be for everybody within really the university. The university suffered last week. I think there was some misunderstandings that really got way out of proportion. And again, I just want to apologize or take the opportunity to apologize to really anyone hurt, and then also the university. Following up on that, this leadership throughout the year, I think, is been rather poor. Starting out the beginning of the year, I became a target. So it's not just understand that there are multiple people in this space who have been targeted. Mine was based on religious preferences. And I went to leadership about this. Leadership then took this and ran with it, spreading rumors and spreading my beliefs throughout the
I had
space.
absolutely no idea about this, so please don't claim I know something when I don't. Like, I understand using leadership. I literally did not hear about that part from.
And I'm not saying that each person in general, however, there were, it was coming from both our, one of our former positions that were had. I think a chair was involved in it, and also one of the leaders of the space. So I'm not going to directly name names. I'll let y'all fill in the blanks. But there has been quite a bit that's gone on through this year. I'll be voting.
I would like to say, everyone, please keep all of your comments directed through the chair. No comments should be made directed at another individual in this space. If there are no more primary speakers, we'll move on to our secondary speakers list. Chair Ritter. Chair Welch. Senator Nybert.
I just want to add one really quick thing. We're here. And we're all very uncomfortable. We're all very tense. And we all feel very tired and angry. We had a very tough conversation 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And it brought up a lot of feelings. We talked about race. That is a very common conversation. And the fact that this space was not able to handle that conversation speaks volumes to both everyone in the space, to leadership, to the speaker. I think there's a lot of places we all can see improvement. I'm not going to participate in the vote, but I will say that it is a leader's job to moderate environment and moderate how we all feel in a space. It is one of the few things I have learned over the time. It is one of the few things that I've been told that if you're a leader doing if you're doing something as a leader that isn't moderating the environment, you're not doing your job. We are all tired and we all feel like we haven't been listened to. And it's not
really important who or what is to blame. It is important that we make changes and move forward. And there are a lot of people in this room who feel that they have not been listened to, who feel that there has been a situation where someone or something has gone against them, where they have felt targeted, where they have felt attacked. This is not meant to be that space. This is not how it's meant to go, and we should not think this is common. It should never feel like a pain, hard work, or just difficult to speak up. That is part of the speaker's job, is to make sure that everyone has a voice. And there are people who have spoken to say they did not feel heard and that they did not feel like they were taken into consideration in and outside of this space. We can talk about, and I feel it is appropriate to say that that the speaker does need to at least sit down for this session due to the fact that the election was just so energy filled. I will not vote on that, only because, like I said earlier. But I will also speak to the fact that it is not just the speaker, and that there are portions of the space that are also problematic. That there are laws and there are rules in Robert's Rule of Order that are not written for everyone in this space, and were written before some of the people in this space even had what we consider were rights. And that's worth taking into account. And I really hope we all think about that really deeply without getting angry, and think about that. We need to do more than just remove the speaker, because if we're going to remove the speaker, we better go further, because it was not just the speaker that got angry. It was not just people who didn't feel listened, and it was not just the speaker that got us here. We did not get here just because the speaker was bad or because everyone in this room was bad. There was a mixture of issues. And while I cannot speak to how good previous leadership was or how good future leadership was or future leadership will be, I can speak to that how it feels now is not how it should feel, not how it usually feels, not how we should make it, how we should feel it usually feels. It is not common. We should not accept that the space is deteriorated. We should be working to repair it, and we should go further than just people in positions, but rules, recognitions, positions, and how the space is designed. And I think we need to think about that. Thank you. I yield my time.
Senator Correa.
Hey y'all, once again, it's me. I just want to bring this point out that the motion towards Speaker Kyle is actually a reflection on the motion that should have been done towards the entire legislative cabinet if it's passed today, mainly because all the issues we are facing today starts from there. I remember once that the agenda wasn't approved because there were certain spelling errors, and we had a whole 1-hour debate on if we should have an agenda or not on spelling errors. If that is not an issue, what is? It's sad that Speaker Kyle is being blamed for everything, whereas it's a collective failure of us and the legislative cabinet as a whole. I don't see a difference between the motion I made, because I agree that the motion I made was wrong. All right, I agree. But I don't see how this motion is any different. And I think the best thing that could be done right now is if this motion was rescinded, we finish our senator reports and head out towards elections, because that should have been going on right now. Elections is what should have been going on right now, not this discussion. We are doing the very same thing right now that we are thinking that we should not be doing and progressing, because right now we are not progressing, but staying just where we are. So the best thing that could be done is actually rescinding this motion and doing what we want to do. But I don't think that's going to happen. So I personally will be voting no on this motion, but that's all I wanted to say again. Thank you.
Senator Trout.
Hi, y'all, me again. I also want to make a point that we've been in the semester for 4 weeks now. This is our second session, and yes, that is due to the weather. But we really haven't been able to get a whole lot done. Kind of going off of the previous time and many of the other concerns brought up. We have a lot of legislation that we should be passing. There is a retroactive audit. accessibility legislation, formatting errors, all that, things that are going to be helping students. And on top of that, committees aren't meeting because we haven't passed anything. So as a result, we've kind of just sat in a deadlock with our bills, and that's not helping anyone. So I will be voting yes on this motion, but I'd also like for senators to, and just for everyone in this space to realize, again, we are here to serve our constituents. And if we cannot pass legislation and make meaningful change on campus, we are not doing the jobs that we have volunteered and spend our time on. I yield.
Chair recognizes Chair Athey.
I yield to Chair Welch.
So first off, I want to make sure everyone understands. I understand that people are not all leadership. That makes sense. But I want to make sure something's perfectly clear. For the entire time until Wednesday or 2 weeks ago, the speaker only served one group, and that was fraternities, because he believed they're the only people that voted for him, so he only decided to serve them. So I guess I was in leadership, but the speaker did not actually consider me. He considered me second, just like the majority of you. That is extremely hurtful, extremely harmful. I understand you all are in with all leadership, but what the speaker has done has also hurt leadership. And what he did on Wednesday was so harmful that we unfortunately have to talk about this the next day. So it's that harmful of a thing. But again, the speaker did not just do one thing, they did 3 harmful things. They mismanaged, they didn't know what they were doing. They accepted a motion that was extremely problematic, and they said they only served one group. All 3 are problematic. And secondly, another reason I understand why you're all in their leadership is probably because of the $600 for the leadership thing. So fun fact, that's supposed to be before it's spent, all leadership needs to be told this. The speaker never told anyone in the Senate leadership that that $600 was being spent. We found out the same day you all found out. So I understand that most people here do think that we leadership do have a voice. Unfortunately, we do not have a voice. We have been silenced by the speaker. I literally have to schedule things because the speaker will not do it, which is extremely disappointing because I am not the one in charge of that stuff. The speaker has not been doing its job, and so we need to talk about that, and that's why I've asked him to resign beforehand. So I want to ask again if he does do the job and how he made that list. But unfortunately, the speaker is not doing the job, so that's why I don't want him to be chairing tonight. So unfortunately, during the election, he'll probably once again not do the job and be biased. I understand there's a lot of anger to space, but I think that's the best way for us to move forward. And I yield my time.
Please direct all comments through the chair. Chair recognizes Senator Burge.
Following Chair Welch, that was a good point. And I think that organization is a big thing in this space that we need. And it's something that we haven't had this entire year. Mr. Chair, I believe that we, at least I have made up my mind on voting. I think most of us have. And in efficiency's sake, I think if we're going to begin working on making Senate more efficient, more effective, and beginning to get stuff done this semester, I think a good step right now is, I think we know what we're going to vote on. So I'd like to move to previous question.
Seconded.
There's been a motion to move to previous question. This vote traditionally is a chair recognizes Senator Chair Athey.
Okay, sorry, to finish the interim speaker's statement. This is traditionally a secret ballot vote, but I would like to motion for a roll call vote. I kind of want to just judge the vibe for a second. Like, if you're cool with that, raise your hand, because I don't want to force anyone into something they're not comfortable with. Can people on Zoom do it too? Because then someone check that. I'm seeing all hands raised in the room. Is that everyone?
Point of information, is this are we speaking to the roll call vote? Because I think Silent ballot would be better, but I'm trying to.
Yes, so traditionally it is a secret ballot vote, but because of the severity of this, I believe that it should be a roll call vote. But I don't want to force people into a roll call vote if they would prefer a secret ballot vote.
Chair Apey, would you yield to Chief of Staff Writer for a second?
Yes.
Hi, y'all. Carter here to pronounce she and hers. I really try so hard not to speak in this space because it's y'all's space. This is, we're different branches and I trust y'all to do y'all's jobs. As like a student, as a person, as like all of the roles that I have, I'm gonna beg y'all not to do this publicly. I think that's really cruel and unusual. And I really think that y'all should do a secret ballot because that's a tradition. And I don't think it's necessary. Like, I don't want to invalidate anyone's feelings, but I'm really gonna beg y'all to please do this secretly. I don't think it's appropriate to air out this dirty laundry with everyone here, but that's just my opinion. I don't want to invalidate anyone. I'm so sorry to have interrupted, but I really am gonna ask that you do this secretly because I don't think it's okay to do it publicly.
Are you done? I don't want to interrupt you. Okay, cool. I don't think that I got hands raised from everyone anyway.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna rescind my motion.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Senator Maverick.
Point of information, because I'm standing away from the vote, does that reduce how many people need to vote yes in order for the vote to pass?
No, you're abstaining.
Yes, and we're moving into previous question no matter what. So this will be conducted as a secret ballot vote. I'll have the clerk hand out the secret ballot.
And just point of information, just so we are correct, this is for removal of today, not permanent, correct?
Yes.
We can't remove them permanently. Sorry.
If you are on Zoom, please send an email to the parliamentarian email. And
I'm sorry, we had broken up. This is what.
You'll be able to
Yeah.
see them.
if you're on Zoom, please send a private message to
Hold on,
the chair.
wait, don't do it yet.
And
Hold
one
on.
second, just wait for us to turn off the TVs.
I'm gonna just minimize it for a second. Okay, now they can.
Awesome. Okay, if you are on Zoom, please send a private message to the chair, the host of the Zoom,
And then
indicating your vote.
turn off the TVs. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Kyle, you can't look at that. You can-
Everyone?
Point of
Anywhere you can
information,
see that screen.
do we just write like yes or no for our vote?
Do you want to explain it, Jackson?
Okay, so a yes vote is that Speaker Hill will not chair this session. A no vote is that Speaker Hill will chair this session, and an abstain is an abstain. Does everyone understand? I'm really hoping Zoom can understand because I can't currently look at the screen, but give me 1 second. If you don't understand, say something in the chat.
I
What?
repeat my balance.
Does anybody need it to be said again? Okay, I'm gonna double check Zoom.
For clarification, if you are on Zoom, please indicate your vote, yes to remove the chair for this meeting, no to keep the chair for this meeting,
Or abstain.
or abstention. Is that everything?
Yeah.
Okay. And then can you go through the roster and I guess you can just count the votes, but you'll need to count each votes.
I'm shooting the ones on Zoom. Oh, do you have those on Zoom?
Yeah, I've got them here. If you just count the votes here,
Oh.
you should be able to tell if it's a 2/3, but if you know, just-
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, this is nice. You can move my back.
Yes. And Kyle, you need to sit somewhere where you can't see the screen. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, and yes.
Yeah, there's. Yeah, so that's this motion passes with a 2/3 majority. We'll now move on. 1 second, please. Will you run the Zoom? Okay, everyone, we will now move on to our next item in the agenda, and that is Senator and Associate Senator reports, starting with the first raised placard. Are there any Senator or Associate Senator reports? Chair recognizes Senator Sandoval.
Can I motion for a 5-minute break?
There's been a
Or
motion.
recess?
Seconded.
There's been a motion for a 5-minute break. All in favor? Please say aye. All against? Seeing none, this motion passes. We will now take a 5-minute recess.
Can you probably turn this off so I can delete those so I can take the shadow down?
Yeah,
I don't know how to turn the big screen.
the big screen. You just go here.
How does one? I don't know how to delete messages.
I'm not really sure either.
Okay, I'm gonna just put out in everyone in the, are this message?
If you just send a really big message with spaces, then they won't come up. Is the Zoom muted?
No, it shouldn't be.
Will you just mute it during recess?
Yes.
resign and pass the baton and let someone else step up to take over as Speaker of the Senate. I talked about how it takes a true leader to know when to step back and take care of themselves for everyone else as well, to take care of each other and our team. Before being in a role, before being in a role of leadership, we should be able to have confidence in the chair of the Senate. Our leader within leadership has not been communicating with us very well, or when it is too late to make decisions. Senate leadership chairs cannot make decisions without the approval of our own leader, and essentially we need permission. Example, a decision was made to spend over $600 without the entire Senate leadership chairs knowing until weeks later. Also, there were numerous occasions where things were told to leadership, but multiple chairs were told and or left out of those conversations. The entire Senate chairs made the executive decision to sit down with our speaker to resign for the peace of everyone. And it was ignored of what the chairs in Senate leadership requested was best for our Senate. And I yield. Thank you.
Are there any other senator or associate senator reports? Officer Torres Doxy.
Hi, everyone. So I'm also the senator for APAC, and last week was Lunar New Year. For anyone who knows anyone who celebrates Lunar New Year. As a part of that, Friday in APAC, which is in the LSC 333 upstairs, we will be hosting basically an event, like an all-day event. We'll make lanterns, make other crafts, eat food, all day within the space. So if you'd like to go, I totally encourage it. Yeah.
Are there any other senator or associate senator reports? Senator Trout.
Hey y'all, me again. Just like last semester, I would like to point your guys' attention to, or y'all's attention, my apologies, to the University Center of the Arts and some of the activities that they're doing. So tomorrow night at 7:30, there's going to be the Thanksgiving play. It's going to be a live stream event. And for most of these events, if not all of them, there's an option to go in person or attend virtually. And since most of y'all, everyone in the space is CSU students, you get it for free, which is really, really cool. On February 12th, we have Love and All That Jazz Dance, which is a community event at the Fort Collins Hilton. On February 13th, we have another community event, the Sala Voice Sings. I am really sorry if I butchered that. And then February 16th, we have the University Symphony Orchestra, the first one of the semester. I'm very excited for this one. It will be at the Griffin Concert Hall at UCA. There's so many other ones on here, and I do not want to get them all kind of clustered in your mind. So if you are interested, please go to the University Center of the Arts ticket page. I really encourage y'all to experience a lot of the art that our students have, and it's free entertainment, so why not? And with that, I yield.
Are there any other senator or associate senator reports? Seeing none, we will now move into our confidence business. Before we do this though, we're going to have the clerk hand out a list of the appropriate and inappropriate questions during our elections period. So if you are asking a question, I highly recommend just scanning over the sheet, maybe taking a detailed look. It will be helpful in the future. We will now move into confidence business. If the interim parliamentarian will put 2 hours on the confidence clock. I also would just like to say, kind of a little bit out of order, this is the plan, at least right now, for me, is I would love to get through new business and then adjourn. If we get done extremely fast, we could go to old business, but I think for tonight, it would be best to get through new business only. We will now move into the ratification and election of new officers, starting with Director of Academics. Chair recognizes Chief of Staff.
That's me.
You can move that up there too. What?
Okay. What's up, everyone? I'm back. My name's Carter.
Sorry, point of information, the Zoom is muted.
Thank you.
How's that?
Can you hear me now on Zoom? Or okay. So over here, this is Mahmoud Ahmed. I did okay.
Yeah.
He'll say his name a bit better. I appreciate your patience with me. And he's going to be our pick for the director of academics, which is super excited. We are so beyond excited to have him on our team and excited about this position. So a quick little highlight reel here. He is a senior studying political science with minors in political communications and global studies. He's currently interning at the Denver State Capitol with a legislator, and he's working on a lot of education policies, which is so fitting for the director of academics position. He's always had a passion for education. He's hosted multiple pop-up ventures to bring communities together. He's fluent in Somali and is currently learning Arabic. And he has lots of creative ideas and will be a great asset to our team. He's super well-versed in academics, has a lot of passion, and we're super excited for him to be joining our team.
The candidate can now come up. Awesome. There'll be 10 minutes. Q&A.
Press something.
Yeah, press the little face on the, okay, there you go.
Can you hear me good? Bend over a little bit. All right, like she said, my name is Mahmoud Ahmed. I'm a senior here at Colorado State University studying political science, double minoring in global communications and political communications as well. Let me put my mask on. So I'm the founder of a nonprofit organization specializing in creating real social change down in Denver, trying to move that here to Colorado State and especially Fort Collins as a whole. I'm the son of two immigrant parents who migrated here. Their main goal was to get their kids college degree. So that was their main part. I'm kind of nervous a little bit. I ain't practice this for real, but bear with me a little bit, all right, folks? So when I talk to y'all face to face, it'll be a little bit better. But the reason I chose to pursue this position was because I feel like it aligned with a lot of my beliefs. What they try to emphasize was helping marginalized and underrepresented students here at CSU. And being an African American man, being the only African American man in like lecture halls and stuff, I felt that. I felt that deeply, and I feel like they really did align with me. I want to have a lasting impact here at CSU, not just as director of academics, but ASCSU as a whole. I want us to have a direct impact on students' education and academics here at CSU. So that's just a little bit about me. Any questions?
We will now open up time for Q&A, starting with the first raised placard, Senator Nyberg.
What's your motivation for pursuing this? Like, what more than just like, yeah, what's your motivation and get you to do all these amazing things?
I'd say my motivation, my first and foremost motivation would be my parents. They instilled a lot of values in me growing up. One of those values was inclusivity and help and lending a helping hand to those in need. So those are what I say would be my first motivation. My second motivation would be just creating change, just helping out a lot of folks in general, especially in academics. I feel like we're lacking a little bit in certain representational and marginalized communities. They need a little bit of help, so an emphasis as well. So that would be my main motivation.
Senator Long.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Mahmoud, for coming in today. I heard from someone that you had an internship at the Capitol, if I'm not mistaken. Would you care to elaborate a bit more on that?
Yeah, so I'm interning for State Senator Chris Colker. He's for District 27, which is Centennial. How we linked up was my main goal was education policy and being with a senator that would help me in my future political aspirations. Obviously, I want to run for office, and that's how I feel like would make the most change for a large demographic. So that's how we paired up. A little bit about it. I'm doing mostly just intern work, creating fact sheets, talking to a lot of other interns about how their experiences is, sitting in on meetings, not too much right now. At least, thank God, I'm not fetching any coffee for anybody. So, doing a little bit meaningful work, just learning. That's my main thing. My main goal right now for this internship is just to learn as much as I can.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield.
Are there any other questions? Senator Silverheart?
Thank you for being here tonight. I had a few questions. What are some projects or topics that you would like to focus on in the realm of academics if you were to get this position?
Yeah. So I talked to my predecessor, Brendan Lowry, and one of my main focuses is just to complete the tasks that were already created. We don't want to start anything and leave it halfway. So that was my main goal, is to come in and finish whatever he started. And the first thing we talked about was open educational resources. I don't know if a lot of you have heard about this, but it's a system where students here at CSU would typically not pay anything for textbooks, which would help a lot. I know a lot of you may have paid $200 some odd freshman year for that biology textbook. Obviously coming in 18 years old, that's a big burden. I don't know if a lot of your parents can handle that as well, but that is a big burden. So open educational resources would be my first and foremost objective here to get completed. Second would be having Echo 360 in all classrooms. We are in the midst of a pandemic, and you guys know a little bit about this legislation more than me, but having Echo 360 in all classrooms would benefit students greatly, especially if they have COVID. You don't want to rely on the next student or the teacher and go into office hours to get basically educated on your class. So that's the second one. The third one I would say would be making an adequate kind of system where teachers and professors can switch their curriculum from in-person to online. Because obviously if you taught a course for 30 some odd years in person, it'll be a little bit difficult for you to switch that curriculum to online, which, in the midst of a pandemic, everything is unpredictable. So those would be my three main goals.
Thank you. How did you learn about this role?
So it was an email sent out about ASU paid job opportunity positions. And there was another one about director of art and visual arts. And I'm not very an artistic person. I'm more of a policy guy, I would say. So this one, it was just really intriguing. I read the job description and it said, and it emphasized marginalized and communities and underrepresented communities here at CSU, which I felt strongly about, and education as a whole and academics as a whole. So I felt like it was a perfect fit for me. I went to the interview with a couple of the folks in the executive branch, and I think I rocked it. Here I am. So I'm just excited. I'm really more excited about what I can do, what this position will allow me to do for students here at CSU.
I love the energy.
Oh, thank you.
Two more questions. How do you plan on improving inclusivity in the classroom?
So first and foremost, it might be a cliche answer, but SDPS would be on the forefront of this, not just meeting with them one time out the semester, but having consistent meetings every week. I would say or bi-weekly. It depends on my schedule. I'll see. Haven't really been in this role yet, so I'll figure that out. But definitely SDPS services will be first and foremost on my list to include in on conversations. It is Black History Month. So I'm definitely hitting up back office first. Like, hey, what do you guys need? Definitely that was my main stakeholder when I was interviewing. So.
Perfect, thank you. And then lastly, what is your capacity for this role? You mentioned talking about starting up a nonprofit and being an intern. I know you probably wouldn't have applied to this role unless you felt like you had enough time. But maybe if you could speak to that a little more.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I feel like this is a project, this is more meaningful. I feel like definitely than I would say any of my other projects, especially the internship and the nonprofit organization is very meaningful, but I feel like this is something that I need right now to do. This is something that somebody like me in my position graduating next semester would love to have this under their belt and create real change here at CSU. It's very immediate for me. So this would be first thing on my list. I'm here in Fort Collins all the time. So it'll just be a lot more accessible to come into the office and do real good work here. So.
Oh, you've got my vote. I yield my time.
Senator Burge.
So I had another question, but it's already been answered. And I do have a second question. Honestly, you're a phenomenal candidate. I love your energy, echoing Senator Silverheart. You have my vote as well. So a question that I have, and sometimes, in ASCSU, we don't hear from certain members of the executive branch sometimes, or judicially, there's that natural divide that occurs. How do you plan to stay connected with the Senate space? And also, what can we do for you as an incoming member of ASCSU? How can we help provide resources, and what are you looking for as support from Senate?
And really just input. You know, you guys obviously know legislation a lot more than I do. I never really even knew all of this was going on for real. So definitely just you guys' input would be very helpful. I've spoken to a couple members of the Senate already. You guys know your constituent bases, right? Or at least try to know. So that would be my main goal, is just having an open line of communication, saying, hey, I'm a friendly face, I'm a friendly guy. Just come chat with me, come holler at me. We can do some good here, definitely.
Awesome, thank you for being here. I get it.
There's 2 minutes left on our time for Q&A. Chair Morgan.
I yield. Sorry, I yield for redundancy.
Senator Brown.
Okay, sorry, so real quick, so it seems like you're really knowledgeable on this topic, so we appreciate you for being here. And so I had a question regarding the STBS offices and like how you would work with them, but that question has already been answered, so I just wanted to say thank you for being here, and I yield to redundancy.
Senator Trout.
All right, so I wanted to ask really quickly about the nonprofit that you started up. We love promoting nonprofits here. So if you wanted to talk a little bit about that, flex a little bit of muscle.
I'll do it a little bit, but don't worry, I got you. So this nonprofit I started with my girlfriend Destiny over there. Our main goal is just creating real social change, social activism. I'm kind of trying to start out how Obama did a little bit, but we'll see what route this takes me. We did a couple unhoused drives here recently. We hosted a couple pop-up shops, just creating awareness for a lot of topics that we feel like are very important to us. We stress unity within the community. That's our main goal, right? To unify a lot of people, be bridges between a lot of people. So definitely, we're gonna see where it takes me in life. Hopefully, we can grow and we can be an advocate for change.
Awesome, that's really exciting to hear. That's all. I'm excited. You have such an energy to you, as everyone stated. I can't.
I was a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I had a whole thing going on. I'm like, dang, I'm in the back practicing. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Of course, I'm excited to see you work really hard. I know ASCSU as a whole will benefit with you joining our ranks. And with that, I yield my time.
And that is our time for question and answer.
Motion for Q&A to be extended by 5 minutes.
There's been a motion for Q&A to be extended by 5 minutes. And it's been seconded. All for extended Q&A, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All against? The nays have it. We will now move into.
Do I have to say in this? I know you had a question. So if you guys would all I would love to answer.
I apologize. That motion has failed. But we will now move into 20 minutes of discussion and debate. So if I could please have you step out those doors, that would be fantastic.
Thank you guys again, and just vote for me.
The chair recognizes Chair AB.
I'll remove previous question. I think everyone already has their questions answered.
We don't need a second. Seconded.
There's been a motion to move to previous question. That has been seconded. All for moving to previous question on this candidate, please say aye.
Aye.
All against? This candidate has been ratified. Chair recognizes Chair AB.
I move for unanimous consent.
Second.
It doesn't need a second. It just. Is there dissent?
Is there dissent? Seeing none, this candidate has been unanimously ratified.
Do
you want to send the thing?
Okay, hey, thank you very much. That was really quick. You know, maybe I had time to use the bathroom, but I'm glad I made a lasting impression. And for real, I have an open line of communication. Come get my number after. Come, and let's talk. I got a lot of ideas, and I know you all have a lot of ideas. So I'm really excited. So
awesome. We will now move on to the ratification of Deputy Director of Marketing.
Okay, I'm back. All right. So over here we have Manon Sayum, and she's a second year studying journalism and media communication with a minor in business. She's currently serving as a resident assistant and marketing coordinator for Applicants United. She has served as a social media intern at the U of S, and she served as a shift lead at Circus Tricks, where she managed all the social media profiles and created content to increase engagement. She created interactive flyers and posts for social media audiences, and she has extensive experience in the marketing field and is excited to use her skills to enhance ASCSU's media presence. And we are super excited to have her on the team as well. Hopefully it should be another easy ratification because she's also super impressive.
Hi, everyone. Like she said, my name is Meron, or you could say Moran. I'm really cool with both of them. Yeah, she basically covered everything. I'm a journalism major here. It's my second year. I've definitely met some of y'all, and you probably see me just lingering at the back in the gallery. I've been to a couple of these meetings, and it's really nice to see some familiar faces. And if we haven't met, I really can't wait till I start working with y'all. But yeah, she basically covered everything. But I'm really excited to be here and just to start working with everyone.
We will now enter Q&A, starting with the first race placard. Senator Nyberg.
What motivates you to do this job and pursue further things in the ASCSU?
I definitely think when I first started coming to these meetings, I was hearing about all the great things y'all were doing here, just all the great bills and stuff you were talking about, and I really wanted to put a spotlight on that and just kind of everything that's going on campus. Whenever I ask my friends about ASCSU, it's kind of sad that a lot of people don't really know what y'all are doing here. And so I personally think through marketing, through social media, something that we all use nowadays, I think that I can really put a spotlight on everything that ASCSU is doing and just everything that the CSU campus has to offer. And so I'm really excited just to kind of get my hands on the projects that Grace has and just, start some of my own. And so that's really the motivation behind why I ran for this position.
Senator Long.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Maron, for coming in today. One question that I had was that, and I was going to ask Mahmoud, I think, about this, is that ASCSU sometimes has conflict in it. And I'm just curious, could you tell us of a time where you had to navigate conflict resolution?
Yeah, so I actually was involved with my student government back in high school. It definitely feels like it wasn't too long ago because of the pandemic and everything. But my senior year, I was a senior class president, and so I was a part of the executive committees and just navigating the classes and just also helping with running the entire class and some of the events that we threw at the school. And it was really hard sometimes just to get everyone on board with some of our ideas for the events we were throwing or just some of the bills that we wanted to kind of initiate at our school. But something that I learned is just to hear everyone out. Everyone has their own background and their own experiences that really kind of define who they are as a person, and it's the reason behind some of their actions and stuff. And so something that I'm really good is I'm really patient and I'm really open-minded and just I'm really good at hearing people out. And so I think that in any space, I think patience is all it's a great characteristic to have. And I think that through it with just because I'm such a patient person, I'm able to, handle a lot of things and kind of be open-minded and just listen to what is going on in the space and kind of just make everyone feel like they're heard.
Great answer. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield.
Chair Welch.
All right, so my question is, are there any projects you can tell us about that you plan on doing once you get ratified?
Yes, I actually have. I've talked to Grace and Christian about a couple, about some of them. But to start off, have you ever seen those videos where you go around campus and, or there's actually a couple YouTube channels that do it, but they basically go around asking people what kind of music they're listening to. And so, you know, whenever you see people like with earbuds, whatever, you kind of stop them and ask them what they're listening to. And I think that is like, I love watching those videos, you know, and I've seen them done at campuses. I've seen them done just like in cities and stuff. And if we were to bring that to CSU, I feel like it'd be really interesting just to see all the different people. And like, if you're watching the video, like, because we're all stuck in our majors and our clubs, whatever, there's a chance that we're not seeing some of the people that that are on our campus. And through these videos and stuff, you're able to see the diverse like the diversity we have on campus, and just like, you know, just listening to people's like music tastes. I love music, I love music, listen to it all the time. And I think that it's a great way to like bring people together. And so I feel like that video would be, I feel like videos like that, just like on Instagram Reels, maybe the YouTube channel, I feel like it'd be really cool just to kind of visualize that and kind of bring it to life here on the campus.
Thank you. I yield my time.
Senator Brown.
Thank you, Madam, for being here. Okay, so you seem very qualified for the position. How do you plan on like incorporating like the STPS offices like in your upcoming projects?
So I personally think that like even with the back office, I've definitely been there a few times, and you know, I feel like the STPS offices, they don't get enough like recognition for some of the events that they have. And so I feel like through marketing, through Instagram, like social media and stuff, it's I'm able to kind of help these offices, you know, get their events and whatever it is that they're doing like out there. And so whether that's through like utilizing like Instagram Reels, I don't think I've seen any of the offices like utilizing video. And so I feel like even through Instagram Reels, that's something that's really super popular. TikTok is now really popular. I feel like it's a great way to advertise. And I really do think that these offices deserve that spotlight and that time to like shine. And so through the ASCSU account, or even just like finding ways to kind of get that out to the like larger CSU account, I feel like that'd be a really good way to kind of just you know, give the recognition to these offices.
Thank you. I yield my time.
Are there any other questions for the nominee? Seeing none, I'll have you leave the room and we will enter a moment of discussion and debate.
Motion to previous question.
There's been a motion to move to previous question. Is there a second?
Second.
All for moving to previous question, please say aye.
Aye.
All against? We will now, or yeah, I guess we move to previous question. All for ratifying Maron Sim. There's been a motion for unanimous consent. Is there a dissent? Seeing none, this candidate has been ratified.
She's here.
I just want to say thank you, and I really can't wait to work with everyone. Yeah, I guess I'll start seeing everyone probably tomorrow. But yeah, thank you once again, and have a good night.
We will now move into our speaker pro tempore elections. Are there any? We will start with nominations. And even if you were nominated at the last session, we will need to re-nominate everyone. Chair recognizes Senator Sandoval.
I nominate Senator Ball.
I accept. I'd like to nominate Neil Burge.
I reject.
Chair
I'd like
recognizes.
to,
Oh,
sorry. I'd like to nominate Senator Sandoval.
I accept.
Chair recognizes Senator Osterhout. Chair Osterhout.
Thank you. Can I do, what is it? A motion to ratify the exec candidates that just got approved so they can. Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah. Yes, my apologies. We will do that. Is a member of the judicial branch available? Senator Sandoval, please go back to your chair.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yep. Will the new director of academics and deputy director of marketing please come down here?
Okay.
I don't know, someone took it. Aaron took it.
Yeah.
Chief Justice Freeman, do you have the microphone up there, possibly? Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Both of y'all just speak into that. Yeah.
So y'all will repeat after me in unison.
I state your name. I state your name.
I, Mahmoud Ahmed,
I, Maransium,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to defend and uphold
to defend and
the
uphold
rules and regulations
the rules and regulations
set forth by the Constitution
set forth by the Constitution
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
and will rightfully perform
and
will
will
rightfully
rightfully perform
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
We will now continue with nominations for Speaker Pro Tempore. Chair recognizes Senator Ritter. Chair Ritter, my apologies.
I nominate parliamentarian Jackson Hunter.
And I accept. Are there any other nominations for Speaker Pro Tempore? Seeing none, I will now recuse myself as chair.
Okay. So we will start, who was nominated first? I think that Senator Ball was nominated first. So we'll have him go first and we'll have all the other candidates leave the room, please.
Yes, please. You have a presentation. He did not get nominated. That's not fine. I don't know where the thing is. Go get Jackson.
Okay, temporary technical problems. 1 second, I have to pull up this presentation. Give me 1 second.
I don't know how to do this. Did you get Jackson? Yeah, he did. Okay. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, that's my bad. It was there for a second. Yeah, so they should have. Right there.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. You have 10 minutes.
Okay, the candidate has 10 minutes to present.
Hey, y'all, keep this nice and short. I know I presented last time. So again, my name is Brandon. He's the he series of pronouns. Just quick show of heads. Who remembers my presentation from last week or 2 weeks ago? Cool. And there was a little bit of changes in the slide, so it's my duty to at least be transparent with y'all. So go ahead, pass one more. One more time. So instead of 12 credit hours, is going to be 13 now. That's because I have taken up the initiative to participate in Daniel's Ethics Funds, which is just a symposium to promote better ethic business practices. Not all of us in the College of Business are blood-sucking capitalists. So move on next. So that I use Google Calendar a lot. And so this is my schedule visualized. You can probably see that my Mondays and Wednesdays are completely open. So that's why that was the visual I wanted to show. Move on. Keep going one time. And just to speak about what was the previous questions last time. This was my philosophy on leadership, at least. And that is by giving y'all, by being impartial, giving education, furthering opportunities, and regulate when necessary. Also, then y'all can achieve more than I could for myself. And it's just a little snippet you can read about. My favorite poem is The Bridge Builder by Will Allen Drungle. Please read that when you can. And next one. And that's it.
Okay, we have 10 minutes for Q&A. Do I see any questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the next candidate. Will you bring the next candidate in, please? Okay, oh, sorry, one question. Sorry, not yet.
This question is, how will you help moderate a positive environment in ASCSU?
Honestly, most of the positivity comes from y'all, and I do see the fire in your eyes and the passion in your hearts to be in this position, and not only that, be volunteering for this position. And everything in college business is time, is money, and not only that, but you're sacrificing your own time to be here to support your constituents and push the necessary legislation that you believe in, which I see is nothing but positive. And just being up here, obviously being the leadership position, I want to promote that as much as possible, and let all that positivity flow and organize as much as possible.
Do you yield your time?
Yes, I do. I yield.
Senator Burge.
As a candidate from the College of Business, this is a question that circulates around the College of Business quite frequently. We have something very special in Fort Collins, and that is our community. Not only that, but the businesses that inhabit it. As a candidate from the College of Business, how do you look to provide opportunities to work alongside businesses in the community and also work with organizations in the community as well?
Important question. So being Speaker Pro Tempore is obviously my duty to reach out and get the necessary connections for y'all to finish out the legislation. Not only that, but since we do have that new business liaison, that is definitely a big plus. And whenever I see happen here in a crisis happens at CSU, College of Business, and business of this community and alumni are all willing to pitch in for CSU. And I just think that's just a magical part of CSU.
Thank you, I yield.
Chair Morgan, sorry.
Hi, could you restate your passion or your desire for this position again?
So originally my passion was obviously I found out when I was going through my schedule, I had a lot of free time, and obviously I have passion here in ASCSU just to fill in this position that has been vacant for many months now. And not only that, but I have read the Constitution, the Robert's rules, bylaws, and job description. Of course, job description. We'll have to get retouched on that one more time again, admittedly. But I do see that I would like to be here to help out y'all as much as possible in terms of your legislation. Just see what magic y'all can bring up.
Associate Hibbard. Oh, sorry.
What does that yield?
Thank you. Sorry. Associate Hibbard.
Sorry. Hi, how's it going? I was just wondering how you plan on supporting associate senators and senators via a workshop or helping them write legislation.
The biggest thing and plan I saw was just getting the necessary research, connections, and everything I have it kind of like sourced onto the page. And that's where I like to come in with my skills and expertise. Being a senior in the College of Business is I have handled cash flows, Excel numerous times, and I know how to get that onto a piece of paper. And not only that, but make it look good and readable to many people. I know we all love numbers, but sometimes having all those numbers jumbled up into a nasty little paragraph can be too much. So by separating that strategically can help get your legislation passed and also help your legislation get seen.
That's a great answer. Thank you. I yield my time.
Okay, are there any other questions for the candidate? Seeing none, would you please bring in the next candidate?
Elijah or Jackson.
Whichever one. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'd escape. And then No, neither of them have presentations, so just go back to the room. Yeah, that's kind of down there. No, oh, you gotta tell it to stop sharing. That's easy.
Okay, you have 10 minutes to present.
Sorry, I'm just waiting for all hell to break loose again. Okay. Did you know that the number one fear humans have is public speaking? Yep. Speaking in public. Do you know what the second is? Death. Humans are more afraid of speaking in public in front of a massive group of people than they are dying. I think it's safe to say that I'm nervous. Like most people, I fear my peers' judgment of me. I fear stumbling over my words, rambling. I fear that I'm not good enough sometimes. But why am I telling you this? I'm running for Speaker Pro Tempore, so why am I telling you about my fears? Because I am human. I want you to understand that my fear does not control me. It motivates me. My fear drives me to want to learn more and to change myself around, as well as the environment around me. However, there is more to me than just my fear. I'm a transfer student. I transferred from a community college in Lakewood, Colorado, with my degree in psychology. Because this is only my second semester at CSU, most of my leadership comes from the community college. I was very active in many different student organizations. For 2 years, I was very active in student government. I was on the leadership team and worked with hundreds of students to help make the college better, more inviting for everybody. I worked with the admissions, the college president, and her cabinet, as well as the students themselves. I was part of the State Student Advisory Council, or SAC, being part of the leadership team and chair during my last year. For those of you who don't know, SAC is comprised of students elected by each established student government across the Colorado Community College system. SAC is charged with advising the State Board of Community Colleges and Occupational Education on matters of interest and concern of over 350,000 plus students across the state of Colorado. This means that out of 5,000 students that went to my college, I was one of 2 to be elected to serve. I was a member of the National Society of Leadership and Success. This is the nation's largest accredited leadership honor society. Students are selected by their college for membership based on either academic standing or leadership potential. I served as vice president for my college's chapter. I'm also working on becoming an active member in the chapter here at CSU. I'm also a first-generation student. Because of this, I'm passionate about making the college/university experience easier and more inviting to all first-gen students. I'm working with the Deputy Director of Academics, as well as our student body president, on something we like to call the hidden curriculum initiative that many first-gen students face. More on this in a later presentation. I'm also a person of color, a person with disabilities, a mental health advocate, a child of a single mother. I'm a person with many different identities to help make up my passions, my story, me. I want to leave you with one of my favorite stories, the story of the koi fish. This ancient tale tells of a massive school of golden koi fish swimming upstream in the Yellow River in China. Together they swim as the current grows stronger and stronger as they reach the waterfall. Exhausted, many of the koi turn back, letting the current take them away. However, some stayed, refusing to give up. After 100 years of jumping, one of the koi finally made it to the top of the waterfall. The gods see this, recognizing the koi for his persistence and determination, turning him into a golden dragon, the image of power and strength. This story serves as a reminder to myself, and I hope you as well, that even though things might be challenging right now, hard work always pays off. That is my promise to you. I will work hard for the student body of Colorado State University. I will work hard for ASCSU. We will brave these rocky waters and work together to ensure that everybody gets to the top of that waterfall and turns into a dragon. This is why I should be your next speaker pro tempore. Thank you.
Okay, are there any questions for this candidate? Senator Burge.
So for transparency's sakes, I did ask Brandon this question as well. I'll ask Jackson the same. So part of Speaker Pro Tempore is to be connected to the community and outreach, not only to those in the community, but also to those who don't normally participate in the Senate. But that's kind of beside my point. As Speaker Pro Tempore, what do you plan on doing to support, or I guess to include businesses in the community area, as that is very important to CSU?
I agree, it is very important. One of the things that I plan on doing is working with the president as well as the president of the student body, as well as the business community liaison, and working on putting together events here on campus that will kind of bridge the gap between the student body and small businesses. Whether that's talking to the businesses about donating services, donating coupons, holding an event, whatever that may be. But I think it would be pretty awesome to have businesses on campus showing their stuff, showing what they do, and educating students about what's around the area. For example, I learned in my area, there's axe throwing, literally right down the street from where I lived, and I didn't know that. So I wonder how many other students live around the area and not know what's right down the street from them.
Good answer, thank you. I yield.
Thank you, Associate Hibbert.
How do you plan to help keep this space, or how do you plan to make this space more positive?
Oh, sorry, I did say Associate Hibbert. I saw the light on and I was confused. Associate Hibbert.
That's okay. And I do have to say that their presentation was very profound, and thank you for that. And I relate to you in many different ways, being a first gen and raised by a single mother. That being said, as well as Senator Burge, I asked this question to Senator Vaughn as well. How do you plan on helping senators and associate senators via workshop creating legislation or writing legislation?
Yeah, so I believe it was Senator Silverheart that pointed out earlier this evening that once a month there should be a workshop type of thing. And I completely agree with that, a writing workshop to help senators write legislation, write bills, just learn more about what we do, answer any questions in a safe space. Just be opening to questions, because I believe that if you don't ask a question, then how are you ever going to learn? I'm not sure if that answers your question. I'm sorry.
No, it does. And listening is a good way of learning. Most definitely, it's the best way of learning, actually. And that being said, I formulated a new question. How do you plan on battling imposter syndrome in the CSU?
Oh, imposter syndrome is real. In fact, while I was writing my speech, I was texting a few friends of mine, like, I'm not, like, even in my speech, I wrote, I'm fear not being good enough. But acknowledging that I'm not good enough, I'm not perfect, like the reason why I listed out my fears for you all, because I'm human. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. The only way that I feel to properly battle imposter syndrome is to talk to the people who are higher up than you, who have more knowledge than you. For example, I talk to President Dixon on a regular basis because I either have questions about how certain things are run, or I just want advice, or I need to get out of my own head. But asking those questions, acknowledging that you're not perfect, and then finding ways to deal with that, to fix that, and just learning, listening. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Nyberg.
I apologize, Associate Senator. How do you plan to make the space more positive? Thank you.
So I agree that this space has become very toxic. And I believe by bringing in new faces, bringing in new points of view, not only will help kind of dilute that toxicity, but also will give us a new point of view on how we look at things, a new way of thinking. Also by just, like I said, acknowledging that we're not perfect and bringing Senate back to the collective we. We work for or volunteer for the school. We are voices for our constituents. And if we forget that, then it all becomes about me, me, me. And that's what's been happening, is that certain senators have felt it's about me, not we. So reiterating the fact that we are the associated students, plural, not students, is the best way to do that. And I think by holding workshops, as some people might think that they're time wasting, I think that they're valuable. Holding safe zone training workshops, holding conflict resolution workshops, holding maybe once a month where us as senators go out and have fun and get to know each other. And I think that would very much help if we have a new understanding of our fellow senators. That will definitely dilute that toxicity.
Thank you. I yield my time.
All right, are there any other questions for this candidate? All right, seeing none, would you please bring in the next candidate?
Of course. Thank you for your time.
You have 10 minutes to start.
Awesome. Can I use this one?
Sure.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Jackson Hunter. I pretty much know every single person in this room or have given you a smile or a wave before. I'm the parliamentarian for ASCSU currently, and I'm looking to run for Speaker Pro Tempore. So last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago now, you'll remember I was not going to run for this position. I feel like after that meeting and since then, there's a lot that I've really wanted to fix in the space. And seeing how the space is right now and seeing how it's been for the past like 20 minutes, I feel like it's a lot better vibe in here. And I really want to bring that to future meetings as well. I feel like I've had such a good time being in the parliamentarian position. I've gotten to see a lot and like learn a lot about ASCSU. And honestly, I feel like the kind of change I want to implement in this space and the kind of vibe and presence I want to make in this space is really only going to be achieved by going into the Speaker Pro Tempore position. Yeah, I feel like a lot of y'all know me. I don't have too much more to add to that. If y'all have any questions, I would be loving to answer those.
Okay, so we're moving to question debate, but really quick, it's a little bit loud in the gallery. So if the Supreme Court members, you're a little bit loud, we can hear you. That's all. Thank you. Okay, moving on to 10 minutes of Q&A. Senator Burge.
Hello, Parliamentarian Hunter. Thank you for being here. I'm going to ask you the same question that I've asked Senator Sandoval and Senator Baum. And that is, the community in Fort Collins is very important to Colorado State University. The job of the Speaker Pro Tempore is to bring outreach to the community, also to students and community members who aren't usually involved. How do you plan to incorporate businesses and organizations and community members into this space to make it more inclusive?
Yeah, so that's super important. I forgot to mention like anything else I've been involved with besides ASCSU. I'm currently president of the Liberal Arts Teens Leadership Council. I've also been director of media for Liberal Arts Teens Leadership Council. I think outreach is really big, especially for this space. Like we really, I don't know, I'm looking around and I definitely see a much smaller crowd than I'm used to. And I really think that it's important to outreach, especially to people that aren't as represented in our space. And so, yeah, I don't have a super direct plan on how to do that, but I have experience in outreach and especially like promotion on media. So hopefully we can implement some more of that.
Awesome, I yield.
Senator Nyberg.
How do you plan to make the space more positive?
Yeah, so I was just talking to one of the other candidates out there. My kind of biggest thing is that I have spent my time as parliamentarian kind of reading up on procedure and kind of learning how our procedure goes, especially when our space is under stress. My big thing is that I don't want our space to feel as tense as it has. Lately, it's been feeling super tense. I feel like most of that is because people are worried that they're going to trip up on procedure. So that's something really big. I really want to not make the space less formal in a sense, but I want everyone to be comfortable in the procedure that we're using. And I want everyone to feel comfortable with one another in this space. So yeah, so I kind of just want to encourage like open conversation, really directing stuff through the chair. That's something else is that through as parliamentarian, I feel like it's more of an impartial position. And I feel like as Speaker Pro Tem, that's a space where I can really kind of hopefully help the space to feel more comfortable rather than sitting behind the Zoom computer.
Thank you. I yield my time.
Associate Haber.
How's it going? As the other senators, I'm asking the same question as well to all the candidates. How do you plan on aiding senators and associate senators writing and creating legislation via workshops?
Yeah, so that's something else is that as parliamentarian, I really haven't exercised any legislation writing. And I feel like Speaker Pro Tem, that's a much better space for me to kind of legislate a little bit. But that being said, I've had a lot of ideas in my head about future legislation. And I think really just kind of opening up conversation. I think it was a great idea. I forget who suggested it. Maybe it was Senator Silverheart about legislation writing night. I think that's a great idea. And I would love to facilitate that even just in a casual setting in the office. If you have ideas, come up to me. Let's talk about legislation ideas. If you have part of my idea, come up to me. I'll help you figure out the rest of it, figure out the details. That's kind of my approach to it.
That sounds great. Thank you. I yield my time.
Are there any other questions for this candidate? Senator Silverheart.
Vice Chair, no, I'm kidding. So with this role having been open for 2+ months, what is your response to the concern that the parliamentarian role would be open if you were to get the role of Speaker Pro Tem?
Yeah, so we would have to have elections for parliamentarian. Hopefully though, hopefully some of the awareness that we brought to this position though can carry over. The parliamentarian position will be sent out to SDPS offices and the same amount of outreach that we've done for Speaker Pro Tempore, but we really want to get that spot filled. So hopefully not too long, but I don't think it should be an issue if we have other members present that can assist with that role during Senate meetings. And I would also like to add that it's still something that can carry over to the Speaker Pro Temp's job as far as agenda and legislation receiving. I can totally still do that.
I yield my time.
Thank you. Okay, there's a minute and 15 seconds left in Q&A. Are there any other questions that should be asked? Okay, seeing none, we're moving on to discussion and debate. Please go back out the hallway. Thank you.
Thanks all.
Okay, so because there are 3 candidates, we're going to use 30 minutes of discussion and debate, but I don't know if they're going to use all of that. So is there anybody who would like to start? Counselor Torres Doxy.
Yeah, so, hi everyone. I'd like to say that I think all four candidates had great, presentations. I, think, Jack's, parliamentarian Hunter would be, great for the role of Speaker Pro Tempore, just the way, meetings have been managed by, Jackson in the past. I think that it works really well. So yeah, I yield.
Chair Osterhout.
I think I have a point of personal privilege. Can I have a reminder of who are all the candidates? Please.
Senator Brandon Baum, Senator Elijah Sandoval, and Parliamentarian Jackson Hunter. I believe I didn't miss anyone. I believe there were only 3. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Senator Burge.
I will first off start by saying I am biased towards Brendan Baum because we are both college business senators. However, I do want to make some points. All 3 candidates I think are great. I think they all have a good idea of what needs to be done in this exact position and what it means to be Speaker Pro Tempore of the ASCSU Senate. Looking at the 3 presentations, I find that Brandon Baum has the most plan and most organization for the position. And I would really encourage each of you to give that consideration, especially thinking about what we've endured over the past couple of weeks. It's important to have an organizational structure in this space to make sure that we are getting what we need to get done completed by May or so. And so I'll leave you with that. I think all 3 candidates are great. And so whichever one we decide to vote for, I think will do a phenomenal job for the rest of the semester. I yield.
Chief of Staff Writer.
I have a point of information. So if Parliamentarian Hunter would move up to Speaker Pro Tempore, would the parliamentarian position be open for anyone in the Senate then?
Yes, at that point, we would need to run another election.
Okay, thank you.
I just also have a point of information. Is they're not a 4th candidate? Graham, question mark? Okay, so it's just the 3 now.
Yes, it's just those 3 candidates.
Word, thanks.
Chair Ritter, do you still wish to speak?
Oh, no, I yield.
Okay. Vice Chair Silverheart.
I prefer Senator Silver. Kind of to talk about some of the candidates. I do like candidate Jackson. I feel like what was expressed regarding his ability to lead on the floor, I think that is valid. But I am concerned about the fact that the parliamentarian position would then be open. It would be really nice to have a full legislative cabinet of strong individuals. And I feel like candidate or parliamentarian Hunter can do a lot of the things he was saying within the role that he has now. And to me personally, it was concerning that he felt like his position was in a way limiting him, and that the Speaker Pro Tempore position would be able to open the doors a little more. I feel like a lot of the things he listed were things that he could be doing right now to strengthen the legislative cabinet and the Senate. I did really like candidate Baum. I feel like he is a very organized individual, and I think that is something that is needed for Speaker Pro Tempore. I know we've had issues in the past regarding agendas and things like that. So even having someone that organized in that type of position, I feel like would help with certain things like that. And at the same time, we would still be having the strength that Jackson has and wants to portray even more. So with that, I yield my time.
Senator Ryder.
I will say that all 3 candidates are so good. And parliamentarian Jackson is so good as parliamentarian. I almost want him, this is kind of neat, but I like him as parliamentarian better. Because he is organized. And I also think that we would be, that the other 2 candidates would do very well in the position. And that as parliamentarian, he's already in the room. He's already been in the room. And that's not to say that he won't change anything, but I like to echo what Senator Silverhead. I feel like we need a new voice in the room that is in general, and if Parliamentarian Jackson would like to take on more responsibility as parliamentarian, yes, then I think he's available to do that, as well as alongside a new person we're able to elect. I like Parliamentarian Jackson being in the room. And I think we need to have a full house. I think that's really important. I think that's something we need to do. Thank you. I yield my time.
Senator Shepherd?
Thanks. I'd also like to say that I think all three possess really strong leadership qualities. I'd also like to echo some of the concern that we would be leaving the parliamentarian position open. I think a unified Senate leadership team would be extremely valuable, especially in this time. And not only that, I do think a fresh face within Senate leadership is extremely valuable and can offer new insights and new perspectives. I really liked Senator Sandoval's speech. I thought it was really eloquent, really well put together. In terms of Senator Baum, I think he's consistently here. He consistently stays, and he's extremely well organized. And I think I'll be voting for Senator Baum, and I encourage everybody else to as well. Thank you.
Chair Welch?
So I definitely agree with a lot of people brought up about Parliamentarian Jackson, Parliamentarian Hunter. And I think he's done a great job as parliamentarian. And I think that Speaker Pro Tempore, the Speaker of the Senate, and the parliamentarian, like those are like big three. They're the three that like really get stuff done. And Hunter is already in one of those roles. So I think with his already great ideas, and with one of the other two candidates' great ideas, I think that will really help Senate go on. And I think out of the other two candidates, one that has, I think will do the best has, like, yeah, this, I think will do the best is Brendan Baum. I think Elijah Sandoval had a great speech, and I think that'd be a great candidate, but I do think that I will be voting for Brendan Baum, because I also think he is the right person for Speaker Pro Tempore. Thank you, my time.
Senator Trump?
Hi, y'all. Again, really echoing, it's very much an echo chamber in terms of just praising these candidates. They are all really passionate. You can tell they have a fire in their eyes in terms of wanting this space to improve, not just with the current Senate, but future Senates going forward. And, in the ability of passing down the mantle to future senators. I did like Senator Sandoval's speech and all of her qualifications. She brings a unique eye that not the rest of the senators here can really give. On top of that previous experience within leadership on her own school government, and just all those, I think I will be voting for Senator Sandoval. However, regardless who wins it, Senate will be a incredibly awesome place with them on. With that, I yield.
Senator Piper?
Thanks. Man, we haven't lost today, have we? All three candidates, absolutely fantastic. I mean, the nice part is we know who they are. I mean, we've had this much time to do so. A couple of points just for everybody to think about. If I'm correct, Jackson and Brandon are graduating. If I'm correct. So continuity of government and being able for us not to repeat the same missteps that we've had, that would be fantastic for future Senates.
Information really quick. This Senate ends in May, which is around graduation, and the 52nd Senate will start in May. And so anyone who's graduating at the end of the semester will stay through the end of everyone else's term.
Understood. Yeah, I'm more just saying, going into the 52nd and further, you'll have people with experience, and it's not a complete start over. So, yeah, that's honestly, we can't lose today. So thanks, y'all.
Okay, I see no other discussion in the debate. Does anyone else wish to speak? Associate Hibbard.
I'd just like to echo what Senator Trent said about Senator Sandoval. I think her qualifications with her past student government position really puts her in a qualification state, I guess you could say. And I also feel that having an underrepresented voice within the Speaker Pro Tempore and a Senate leadership position would be essential to diversity, equity, and inclusion within our space and promoting that further. And I think her speech was very profound as well. I yield my time.
Chair Osterhout?
Hey, I have thoughts in my brain and I'm trying to form them into sentences. I don't know if this is a point of information or clarification, but previous speaker, Senator Pfeiffer, was saying that because two of the candidates will be graduating, there won't be like a transitional period in the next Senate. So like, why put that in there? I think I'm confused. Can you help?
Do you to Senator Pfeiffer?
Yeah, Senator Pfeiffer, can you explain, please?
Yeah, more what I think you pretty well had the idea of what I was getting at is that as experience and leadership move on to careers away from CSU, the next Senate session, obviously everyone would still have to be elected, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there's that experience and there's that just possibility for mentorship, if that makes sense. And that's pending, of course, they don't try for other positions.
I see. So we're looking at like, oh, what if we elect one of these two who are graduating? There won't be anyone for a transitional period to help the next Speaker Pro.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Right. And to that point, I'm kidding. Oh yeah, I've been watching too much Still I Can Handle. I'm gonna get stuck in this British accent. Oh no, my God, I can't stop. Basically, what I'm trying to say is there is no transitional period for Speaker Pro. Like generally, what happens in committees is like whoever was working the hardest in budgetary will have a more likely chance of being chair. But generally, for the other positions, it's not really handed down. At least from what I've seen in my 3 years here, y'all, it's just like whoever's working hard and like who has the dedication. And generally, everyone who has experience here already knows how to do everyone's job. So, to that point, I wouldn't really care too much if they're graduating or not because the cycle will still continue. I know my time.
Senator Reimer.
All I have to add is that I think I support, well, I'm gonna vote for Senator Sandoval. She's well thought out. She thinks about what she says and she knows what she's talking about and she's been part of similar leadership groups before. And two, I just want to really quickly expand on Senator Pfeiffer's thing. I think what he might be trying to say is when those people leave ASCSU and move on to their jobs, it becomes harder for them to mentor us or for us to reach out to them once they're gone from CSU in general. I'm sure I really like both candidates, all three candidates. But in terms of that kind of being able to, in terms of that, being able to reach out to them afterwards, as minor a thing as it is, I think is a valuable little part of ASCSU is being able to reach out to peers, people who've been in the space. But on the other side, I think Senator Sandoval is also a standout candidate because she is willing to take on things she fears. And I think she's also willing to talk about things that are tough and has a very positive way of taking them on without igniting a fire that goes out of control. And I think that's a very valuable piece of leadership skill we need. I yield.
Senator Silverheart.
I may be incorrect in saying this, and if people remember from the last Senate session that may be able to confirm, I remember candidate Baum saying something about being available after the graduation or after this Senate term in order to help mentor who goes into that role next. I vividly remember him saying that. I don't know if anyone can second that. I can second that.
So I feel like even though he's graduating, he's expressed the want and desire to mentor afterwards, which I think is a really great thing to point out. Because I understand the want to have kind of that continuous like nature of someone being involved in Senate, and like when they leave, like it makes it kind of hard because they leave with all of their experience and all that. But I think the fact that he is willing to say that, and I believe his word and I trust what he says, I think that speaks a lot to his character. So I will be voting for Senator Bond.
Senator Byrd.
First off, I think I'd like to motion to end discussion debate.
Do you have more than you want to add, or can we make that motion first?
And I would also like to motion to have ranked choice voting as well for the process tonight.
Okay, so we're gonna do the first one first. So all in favor of ending discussion and debate?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so discussion and debate has ended, and now we will vote on ranked choice voting. So we're gonna do.
Point of personal privilege. Well, I don't know if it'd be personal privilege. How are us on Zoom supposed to be ranked choice voting? Sorry, it's for.
It will, we will turn the Zoom off of the big screen, and anyone on Zoom can private message the Zoom account. And that way, no votes will be shared publicly, but it will still be as though you're turning in a ballot like everyone else. Does that make sense?
Louder I am. Yes, it does. Thank you.
Point of personal privilege. We need to turn the TV monitors off as well.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Cool. Okay, so all in favor of ranked choice voting, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Hey,
Okay, I'm gonna call division on that because I did not hear my voices at all. So all in favor, please raise your placard. Okay. Okay, all opposed? Okay, so that motion fails. So we will just do ballot votes like normal. So,
Could we just make sure we do it, so, like, kind of most but like, this is kind of how we do it, but could we do the ballot where we do one round, where we do only one person, and so if no one has 50%, person with the lowest amount gets eliminated, then we do, if not ranked, this isn't ranked, but this is how normal players do it. I think that's more fair than us just doing whoever has the most, because that's not really 50%. I'm fine with either, but like, is there in the ranked choice voting? Or, I mean, I'm fine with it too, but like, I resend my motion because it's late anyway, I don't really care.
okay, we are going to move into a ballot vote. Because it is ratification, this is a secret ballot vote. So we're going to turn off the big screen. Hold on one second.
You're closer, that is actually.
It's this one.
It is.
And then pieces go like.
Okay. Okay, so the big screen is off. So please, we're going to pass out ballots. Write down candidate that you would like to vote for on the ballot, and everyone on Zoom private message it to the Zoom account. Everyone understand? Great. For Morgan.
Just for, I guess for information, associate senators don't vote, right?
Correct, unless they're filling in for a position of senator. Chair Ritter?
Same.
Cool.
I would be open to a potential break while we count the votes. Someone needs to make that motion.
Are the monitors off?
Yes.
Are the
You
monitors
can
off?
I have a motion to have a break while votes are counted.
How long?
Seconded.
5 minutes. Seconded.
That is seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Great. Just make sure you turn in your ballot before you leave.
Was it Jennifer that spoke?
You just messaged Jenna.
Well, they're all. Should I just let everyone know that?
Yeah, just put it in everyone's hands. He didn't put his name in the running. We had to, we renominated everyone.
Do you know if he understood that process or not?
I'm not sure.
Since he presented last week, I wonder. I wasn't sure.
I mean, he was there, he was here, he was sitting here.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I wasn't paying attention to that part. Jackson was sharing that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to, since he was here, that's a good idea. I just thought it was odd unless he was on.
I also thought it was odd. But then he left. And so, yeah.
But I don't know if he's on ASCSU, if he knew that he could nominate himself.
I think that he technically nominated himself last time. I think Kyle kind of like poking him. That's where it went there.
Yeah.
Then he nominated himself, but he definitely nominated himself last time.
Okay. Cool. Just wanted. Your mom informed me a little bit, but I was like, I wasn't in the space. Whatever was happening.
Yeah. I thought Nate nominated him last time.
No, it was Kyle. Oh, no, yeah, it was Nate because.
Nate nominated. Oh, okay.
But I didn't see him here.
Nate wasn't here. Avery definitely was here.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, I don't think it was.
Okay. So I have these also to tally, but there's 3 people, so it's harder. So here, let me just grab my. I'm just gonna tally on this one. Yeah. Just do it. Okay. So this one. This one's Brandon. John's Elijah. Elijah. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And then one for Brandon. Okay. Another one for Brandon. Sandoval. Okay. Brandon. Okay. And Brandon. Okay. So that's a tie. Right. So that's how we just put it. We're technically doing what Evan wanted anyway. So then Dave Rebo. I can't call him back. I'll just get it ready then. Yeah. I mean, you can just hand out the papers already.
My apologies, we forgot to unmute the Zoom. So, hello everyone on Zoom. I called everyone back to order and I said that we have a tie, so we have to vote again. So we are now voting on Senator Baum and Senator Sandoval. So please send a private message in the chat between those two on your vote. Thank you.
Can you count on there? Here.
No, we didn't. Okay. Okay, with a vote of 9-8, Senator Baum wins. Will you please bring the candidates in with you? You can do this one right back.
Yeah.
Wait, nope. So we had to vote twice because of a tie, and so Senator Brandon Baum has won the vote. Will the Supreme Court please come swear the candidate?
You're gonna repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Brandon Baum,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to defend and uphold
to defend and uphold
the rules and regulations
the rules and regulations
set forth by the Constitution
set forth by the Constitution
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
of the Associate Students of Colorado State University,
and will rightfully perform
and will rightfully perform
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, President.
Okay, with that, I rescind the chair to the new speaker pro tempore if you would like it, but that's a lot of pressure on your first minute of the position, so I can also give it to parliamentarian if you wish. Okay, here's parliamentarian.
Okay, y'all, let me get a gauge real quick. How many of y'all would y'all like to do new business right now? Are y'all comfortable moving it to next week?
Yes.
All right, then I'm going to move to adjourn right now. We are adjourned.
Also, everyone got you off this hour. So if you're still here, you get.
Okay, I'm ending the Zoom now. Thank you all for joining.